everybody. Welcome again to the Matt Madness Wrestling Podcast. My name is Ron Pashery. I'm here once again with Aaron Lloyd and the Lunatic Fringe, Joe Rottermill.
Put a little stank on it.
The biggest news in the wrestling world right now, I guess we'll at least mention it right off the top, is the retirement of Daniel Bryan. I think everybody's a little bit sad.
Much love.
Yes, it's sad to see him go. He addressed the WWE Universe last night to close Raw.
You mean to hold you, Ron?
When we actually discuss it in depth, I may need you to sit in your lap and,
Okay.
and at the very least I may need a hug.
Okay.
I will shed a tear.
I'm a hugger.
Yeah, good. That's good. There's nothing wrong with being a hugger. So Raw last night, as I said, the big story was Daniel Bryan's retirement, his addressing of the WWE Universe. The show opened once again with a Stephanie McMahon promo. This was, at least there was a reason. They were signing the contract for the main event at Fastlane. Triple threat between Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose for a shot at the main event of WrestleMania against Triple H. We all know what typically happens at a contract signing. Yes, we got that last night.
Goes downhill quick.
It does go downhill quick. I mean, Ambrose came out first. He interrupted Stephanie. He just wanted to get the whole thing going. Reigns comes out. Brock, of course, comes out last with his advocate, who didn't get much time last night.
No.
It's very rare that Paul Heyman's in the background, but he was last night.
They got straight into the point with this contract signing. Usually, people they'll draw out signing their names and everything like that. This way, they just sign their names. Steph was gone, and then it's...
Yeah, she left before anything even happened.
She's like, I'm out of here.
Do you feel like... I think we mentioned a couple weeks ago that Brock, coming out at the end of Raw, he was not as physical or as dominant as maybe we're used to seeing him or would have wanted to see him. I think last night we probably got that more so than we did when he came out previously.
Yeah.
You think he was violent enough?
Yeah, he was. He got his point across.
I guess he did. He threw a table at Roman Reigns.
He launched a table at Roman Reigns.
He F5'd Dean Ambrose.
He threw him around like a rag doll.
Yes. Do you think Dean Ambrose really knows now what the fuss is all about?
No.
No, he doesn't know yet?
Because he is still intent on finding out what the hype is about Brock. He came out right from the beginning. He got straight to the point, interrupted Stephanie. I want Lesnar. I want him now. That was the message throughout the whole night. He was sitting backstage pounding his hands like, I want Lesnar. Telling Roman, I want Lesnar. No, not you. I want him. I don't need your help. I want Lesnar tonight. And he made it clear in the opening segment. And then Roman came down, straight to the point, contract signing. I had a problem with this because if the match is already official, what you need the contract signing for? Honestly.
It's just an excuse to get everybody in the ring.
Yeah,
It's a reason to hype up the match a little. That's
and then
essential.
It went quick and easy. Stephanie's in and out the ring. She's like, you don't come out when I tell you to come out, and this and that. Real quick segment. She's like, okay, contract signed. You're done.
My business is done here.
You guys go do
You guys can do what
My
you want.
business is done here.
Do you think Dean Ambrose will ever understand what all the fuss is about with Brock Lesnar?
I don't know. I mean, every time he gets thrown around, he gets right back up.
Yeah, he always wants a little bit more.
Well, I think they're coming after a swerve because after this match at Fastlane, you kind of got to think, well, Dean Ambrose still wants Lesnar, and they want us to forget about the Wyatt family attacking Lesnar at the Rumble, but they're kind of convincing me that Dean Ambrose and Lesnar still might be a thing after Sunday.
So you think that this is not a one-off Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt?
But the way they've been booking
Dean Ambrose and Brock Lesnar,
the way they're building it up, it seems like they're eventually going to go down to a head-on match.
Yeah, Ambrose might get that one-on-one with Lesnar because that's how they're making it seem.
So we may have all been wrong about WrestleMania plans as far as the Wyatts and Brock Lesnar.
Possibly, but they think we forget things. They're doing a good job covering it up with Ambrose and Lesnar because they still gonna have the Wyatt family in the back pocket because they haven't mentioned it. Brock mentioned it last week, but they also have Ambrose face him because Ambrose seems to be obsessed with taking out Lesnar.
Right. Which, I mean, I think is good. I think he's a good guy to kind of take on that role.
Obsessed, but so far unsuccessful.
Yeah, and
highly unsuccessful.
Yeah, and the fans will be right behind Ambrose, and that will be a marquee match for Mania.
I mean, you're right that pretty much was like kind of the main thread through the whole show. This past Monday was all night. Ambrose I want Lesnar again. What did he hit me with?
He
An
came
F5,
out.
an F10,
he said
an
F1,
F15, an
F2.
F150.
You better hit me with more.
Yeah, I don't care. He comes out. He calls Brock out later in the show. I mean, you're right. I thought that was an important distinction of because they really do. They try to make Ambrose and Reigns like the brothers in arms thing.
Yeah.
I liked Ambrose kind of saying like I don't need you basically. They tease,
they're giving him his his own time. He's standing up on his own, and he doesn't need his big brother, as they call it,
Right.
referencing him earlier.
They were teasing it on SmackDown a lot last week.
Yeah.
The whole friction between the two of them. And a lot of times when that happens, I think, okay, you're just building it up for it not to happen.
Yeah, but they do a good job of covering it up as Ambrose and Reigns letting it go. There is friction, but other than SmackDown, you don't really see any friction between these guys. And when they try to build up that SmackDown, they just let it go like nothing happened.
But
Yeah.
even with the beatdowns, I like the way they're selling Ambrose. I mean, he got F5 twice the second time around, and he's still getting up off the mat. Struggling, much like me on a Sunday morning after a hearty night of drinking, that's trying to get up like
Are you the other Flair?
He's very Flair-esque,
Oh.
I can attest. Hopefully one day you'll find out how Flair-like he can really be. Ambrose is another guy that he gets his point across without saying anything. Just a look on his face tells you everything. And he's a great promo.
Yeah.
He doesn't get enough time on the microphone as far
Yeah,
as
that's
I'm
the one.
concerned.
That's one thing I have a problem with. They never give him time on the mic. He's probably one of your top mic workers. You never give this guy enough time. The whole feud with Owens, those two had limited time on the mic, which took away from the feud.
Most of their time on the mic was when they did commentary
Yeah,
for each other's matches.
yeah. Or they met Renee. It was never
Yeah.
face to face.
Right. And you give Roman Reigns all this time. This is one of my big issues.
and he
with
has no
WWE.
mic skills.
No. Well, 3-hour show. It's so long. I understand that you're trying to get different aspects of your show into 3 hours, but sacrificing what guys are good at to put guys in that position who aren't good at it is just a huge mistake. I mean, Roman Reigns should be getting should be getting less time on the mic.
Yeah,
Dean
they could-
Ambrose should be getting more.
And they could still build Roman Reigns up without the mic time too. They can go something like Shawn Michaels and what's his name? His bodyguard.
Diesel?
I forget the name. Diesel. Yeah, they go Diesel on HBK style. It's his bodyguard.
Yeah,
It's
he
his-
can get over without. He'd be more over if he didn't talk.
Who?
Roman Reigns.
Oh yeah, he
All he
would
had to
be.
do
I mean, that keeps him from
That was
getting
that
over.
was his thing in the Shield. He
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
talk, but when he's talked, people listen.
Right, because he just said exactly what he needed to
Yeah.
say. And
All
that
he's got to
brief-
do is physically punch people in the mouth. Stop telling people that's what he's going to do.
Yeah, because we know that's what you're going to say whenever you talk. When Dean Ambrose talks, you never know what is the next thing he's going to say.
Yeah.
I thought they did a really good job of... I mean, they didn't make Dean Ambrose look like an equal to Brock Lesnar, because you kind of can't make anybody look like an equal. But they at least made it look like Brock is going to have a very difficult time putting Dean Ambrose away.
Not just Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns too. Because
Yeah.
when Ambrose finally got the upper hand on Lesnar, it was because of Roman's distraction.
Right.
That's another thing. We can't get away from that. I mean, we're seeing all this Dean Ambrose, Brock Lesnar interaction. They're sort of building it that way. But you can't forget Reigns in the background, because this could set up, what if Reigns sneaks in and takes the title away from Ambrose? That could set up friction between these two guys.
Which is what a lot of people want to ultimately
Yeah,
see.
and I can also see. Remember the Undertaker? Well, how Shawn Michaels had such an obsession with beating the Undertaker, the second time at WrestleMania 26. That kind of seems what they're trying to do with Ambrose, and have him have this obsession with Brock Lesnar, and that could possibly lead to a match at WrestleMania. And that's a match I'd rather see than Brock Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt.
I would rather see that as well. I mean, because obviously you already know what's going to happen
Yeah.
if Bray Wyatt goes against Brock Lesnar.
Yeah,
Brock Lesnar goes over. It's another feud that Bray Wyatt comes up short on.
yeah. Even if Brock goes over against Dean Ambrose at Mania, it's still, hey, I think Dean Ambrose may have a chance to win.
I mean, obviously with the two of those guys going up against Brock, the odds still probably aren't in their favor. I mean, he's the beast incarnate.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the fans would be right behind Ambrose that whole time. Because Dean Ambrose can easily be this generation's Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Exactly, and Ambrose is one of very few guys that the crowd will side with over Lesnar at
Yeah.
this point. There are not many guys that the crowd is cheering for when they're in the ring with Brock Lesnar.
I mean, the crowd opened pretty electric. They were there, obviously chanting the yeses for Daniel Bryan, his hometown, Seattle. Cheap plug there. But then, they started cheering for Ambrose just as loud,
yeah,
even over Lesnar.
Yeah, he got a great reaction. he's one of those guys. Yeah, it's a good comparison with him being the Stone Cold of this generation because you don't know what he's going to do. He's unpredictable. He's tough. You kind of know. We talked about this before. How they've been building this up for a while. The idea of him being indestructible.
Yeah.
I mean, Seth Rollins couldn't keep him down in that ladder match. He beats Kevin Owens in the Last Man Standing match. Is he the one guy that's going to be able to keep getting up from everything that Brock Lesnar dishes out to him? I mean, the F5 isn't it supposed to hurt?
Yeah, and that's
He needs
the
an F-150.
Yeah,
and that's
Which
the,
I
and
think
that's,
it's a truck also.
Yeah, it
but,
is. It
I
is a
mean,
truck.
yeah, and that's the story you could tell right there. If you have those two in a match, 1-on-1 against each other, perfect story to tell.
So do you think this story? I mean, we'll get to something else in a second. But do you think after the way Ambrose was treated last night, are you leaning more towards who do you think is going to win the title, or who do you think is going to win this match at Fastlane? Where it stands right now.
Where it stands right now, it's hard to tell because they're putting all the focus on Ambrose and Lesnar. A swerve can happen, possibly, maybe Ambrose can possibly win. Like I said, it's like 2000 all over again. In 2000, the number one contendership bounced around. The Rock won the Rumble. Big Show beat The Rock at No Way Out. And then what happened was they had a triple threat match on Raw for the title. And then they brought Mick Foley in and made the Fatal 4-Way. Maybe Ambrose wins, and maybe Reigns says, "Hey, Dean, I need my rematch. Maybe you put your number one contendership on the line." And go from there, and Roman can go over, and then maybe that leads to Ambrose and Lesnar.
Now, see, I think this is one detriment they have from the way they did the Rumble, because usually you have the Royal Rumble, who wins the Royal Rumble is going to be facing for the title, and you have time to build that match. Now you don't really know which direction they're going, which could be in their detriment because they don't have time to build a good feud.
Right, you don't get 2 months of looking forward to this feud, get to its conclusion.
You don't get enough time to build it. You're not going to have.
So you have this match, which is big, coming up, a month before. Then you only have 1 month to build that match.
Yeah.
Nobody knows who it's going to be. I think most people probably speculate that it'll be Roman. But last year's WrestleMania, everybody knew before the Royal Rumble that Roman Reigns was going to win the title at WrestleMania, and he didn't. I think it would be a smart move on their part to put Dean Ambrose over at Fastlane. One, that WrestleMania crowd will be on fire when he comes out to face Triple H. I guess the only thing is they don't have much of a history with each other.
No, that's the
they
thing.
do.
Well, they're from the Shield.
They do. Triple H made Seth Rollins turn on Ambrose and Reigns. They have all the history. All the history is right there. Or even if somehow, some way, maybe you can get a triple threat. Triple H, Dean Ambrose, and Reigns.
Yeah, that's a known history that most people might not pick up on right away.
Yeah,
most this is something you gotta push towards. So that match is the marquee match no matter what.
Yeah, but the thing is with Triple H, I don't see that wouldn't even make sense for Triple H to even book. He's in charge. Him and Vince are in charge. That wouldn't make any sense to book me in a match with Reigns and Ambrose. That wouldn't make any sense for him.
Right,
to do
you're
that.
putting yourself. You're in charge, and you're putting
yourself.
Yeah,
you put yourself in a tough
situation.
situation.
Again, that's the detriment of having Triple H hold the title because you want to see that title in the forefront right now because that's what everyone's ultimately fighting for.
Wait, it's not on TV.
Very rare.
Right.
Triple H, he should have been in that contract signing. If Stephanie wanted to be there, fine. Triple H should have been there with the belt, not coming out after on the stage when they're taking each other out. I understand why, but that belt needs to be on TV as much as possible. In every backstage authority segment, he needs to have that belt on his shoulder.
Agreed. That was one of the things I was worried about when they put. I didn't have a problem with him winning the belt at the Rumble. Some people did, but that was my worry. Was that now it's not going to be featured as much.
Yeah, you're not.
I mean, right now the biggest story is about who's going to win a match, not for the title, at the next pay-per-view.
I think you'll see him featured more when it's clear who's facing him at WrestleMania.
Well, leading up to WrestleMania.
I have a feeling that coming out of this match, you're not going to have a clear vision of who's going to be facing him at WrestleMania. That's just my opinion. I think that's the way WWE is going to... We're going to have another muddled finish, is the way I see it. Could I be wrong? Yeah, but...
No, that's kind of be the best way to go. An awkward finish. That'll be the best way to go, so you don't have the predictability factor. Because last year at Fastlane, Roman Reigns won. Everybody knows this year Roman Reigns is going to win at Fastlane again. It's two Fastlanes in a row. Have a predictability factor to make it interesting.
It was pretty unpredictable that Eva Marie is the on the in the ads for Fastlane.
Yeah.
She got heat for that.
Yeah, and she should. I don't know why she's there. But okay, so
Should have Miss Piggy doing it.
that's who I'd rather see. Is little
Yeah.
Miss Piggy up there waving the flag.
Well, I was talking about.
You're talking about Dana Brooke?
Yeah, Dana Brooke.
Okay. All right, we're on the same page.
Yeah, I thought you were talking
All
about
right.
the actual Miss Piggy. I was
No,
like,
no,
just
no,
missed
no,
my
no.
reference.
No, I got where you're going. with
Good,
that.
good. I'll have to get up off this chair and go lunatic
I'm-
fringe on you right now.
Well, I know that the wet head is throwing me a little bit for a loop.
Yeah,
I wasn't
yeah.
expecting that tonight.
Well, I didn't have a bucket to dump my head in, so just toss it. No.
Yes, but so Ambrose is getting built up. So clearly none of us really has a sure idea of where Fastlane will finish. On Raw last night, we get yet another Kevin Owens Dolph Ziggler match where Kevin Owens does not go over. Dolph Ziggler, I don't know the last time he won 2 Raw matches in a row.
John
These-
Ziggler.
Well, you were close. You were real close there. It almost slipped by me. Owens and Ziggler obviously are always going to have a quality match when they're in there
definitely.
together. Do you think they're overdoing this a little bit? Where it's, I like a feud, and I like a feud that has a good build, but do you think this match is being... We're seeing it on every show now.
Yes.
Yeah, you're seeing quality matches, but I feel there's no stakes to it right now. I mean, like you said, you're seeing Owens lose and then throwing hissy fits out in the ring, and you don't know exactly where they're going with this right now.
This is yet another problem I'm having with... I don't know if I call it booking or creative as far as this is concerned. Kevin Owens losing his mind over not having the Intercontinental title. That's a good story for Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Like we said, he cares about that belt. It doesn't even matter which belt to him. I think he just wants to have one of those titles. And that's all he cares about is being somebody with that title over his shoulder. Right now, he's having hissy fits over losing to a guy who hasn't mattered in how long?
Yeah. But the thing is, I had a problem with this match because we already know this feud's gonna continue. There's no doubt. They'll have a match or interaction next Monday Night Raw. I think we're seeing this at Fastlane. But in my opinion, if you're gonna do this again at Fastlane, this match should end in disqualification. You shouldn't have had Ziggler go over.
Well, the thing with that too, they had him go over, but they had him cheat to go over.
I know they had.
So it wasn't. I mean, he used the heel finish, the traditional heel finish to win the match. So
Yeah, the
it wasn't even clean.
babyface uses the heel finish
Yeah,
to beat the
yeah.
heel.
I understand that the heel tactics he used, but still, if Owens did it, it would be different because Owens is a heel. But I think this match should end in disqualification. Maybe Owens hits him with the apron power bomb, put him through the announce table or something. But because you're right now, you're going to see this match again at Fastlane, and that's going to be what, the 4th time in 5 weeks.
Well, me personally, I've
And
enjoyed
that's
it every
assuming
time
we
I
don't
watched
see it
it.
again before
Yeah.
Fastlane, which I think we will.
Yeah,
I've enjoyed it every time I watch it, though. It's a very exciting match. I mean, you'll see some of the same things, but they switch it up enough, I think. This week you had a Famouser. He did right off the ropes, outside the ring.
That was probably the best spot.
and then you
Of
said
the
last
match.
week, will it be a gimmick match? I took what you said in consideration about being a 2 out of 3 falls, but that wouldn't make any sense because he just beat Owens 2 times in 2 weeks.
Yeah, back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, so he basically won 2 out of 3 falls.
Already,
Yeah,
without them even having a pay-per-view match.
Yeah, so I don't know where you go from there.
Yeah.
I mean, this is obviously a feud Kevin Owens ends up on the better side of, right?
I hope so.
I do too.
I just need to know, like I mentioned earlier, where are they going with these hissy fits he's throwing outside the ring? I mean, they're not even that long. He goes out and throws a couple things and he leaves.
That's what I'm a little bit
Perplexing.
annoyed about. It's just something he does, and WWE does that too much, where a guy just does something just to do it. They had Seth Rollins win the U.S. title off
Yeah.
the guy I won't mention right now.
Who's that guy?
Solely John Cena.
Oh, damn.
You could throw that in there.
Yeah, I got you. Bing. That's my change.
He wins it for no other reason than to say he has both belts. He didn't defend it. He lost it. I mean, he loses clean the next time they face each other for the belt. So he wins it off the guy, loses it right back, never defends it. There was no story for it. They just did it just to do it.
Well, that's the booking loophole with that because if you're the world champion and you're defending your lower level title, if somebody beats you, they basically should be the world champion too.
Exactly. Yeah, you're saying, okay, Seth Rollins is your champion, but he's still better than you. He's still the best guy. It doesn't make sense, but I just don't like them doing things just to do something.
I think we're seeing a lot of this because so many major stars are hurt right now. So many people go out, and storylines are just up in the air. We're not seeing a lot of building. We're almost through the first week of February, and usually we start seeing a build towards WrestleMania, which is only a couple months away now.
There's plenty of major stars for them to build stuff around. They just don't.
Well, I know, but I think they had storylines planned out, and now you've seen these guys go down, and they have to reshuffle.
I guess you do have to give them a little bit of a pass for that, where so many guys have gotten hurt that have thrown so many monkey wrenches into their plans. I mean, do I trust that they had a great plan for WrestleMania? Not necessarily.
Well, I mean,
but whatever they did have planned, they've had to change.
Maybe not necessarily, but I can't remember in years past where it was this. I haven't seen any building towards WrestleMania at all, really, as far as storylines are concerned.
At this point in the year, it usually has started.
It's getting late in the game.
But if you want to build new stars, you do that by having a guy go out there and consistently win, not have two guys just change off winning each week.
Yeah, even Steven's booking.
Yeah, it keeps everybody in the same place. It doesn't allow anybody to move up. Kevin Owens, I thought he was done when he didn't win his first feud. I thought, oh, there you go. He goes right in, he loses a feud, and now he's pushed to the bottom. Luckily, he gets his Intercontinental title run. He had a good feud with Ambrose. And this feud with Ziggler could be good, but I don't know that they're handling it the best way they can.
No.
They're not. Because if you look back in the Attitude Era, even in the mid-2000s, the Ruthless Aggression Era, these guys, they would have feuds, but they wouldn't touch each other.
Right.
You have interaction and promos, commentary, or there'll be in tag matches, but you wouldn't see the one-on-one match over and over again week after week on SmackDown.
Yeah, they make you wait for it when you have to pay to watch it.
Yeah, they make you wait for the payoff at the pay-per-view.
Do a little lap dance to get you excited before you get into the game,
Exactly. Well, Owens and Ziggler, okay, so this is a feud we're going to see for a little while. This is not the last time we've seen them face off. I just hope it doesn't continue every week on Raw or SmackDown. They have a match, because it's going to be stale by the time the actual pay-per-view match gets here.
Yeah, and by the time Fastlane comes, you need a gimmick match now.
I'd like to see maybe instead of matches against each other, maybe some run-ins and some interference.
Yeah,
some
keep
beatdowns.
Well,
exactly.
On SmackDown that happened somewhat.
Yeah,
Ziggler cost a match against Kalisto.
Right. When that was that was a time when he was right. Was in the right position.
Yeah.
To have a hissy fit.
Yeah.
I just lost a match I had no right losing. That one, he lost the match on his own.
What are they going to do with Ziggler? I mean, they push him, then they drop him down, and they push him. Where's he at?
Well, that's why I don't know why...
He's a wrestler in limbo.
Exactly, and that's why I don't know why you're having Ziggler in this spot with Owen, unless you're planning something big for Ziggler at some point. Possibly. But you should not be doing it at the price of moving Kevin Owens down.
Well, I think that's why they had the heel finish last week.
So you think it's to protect Owens a little bit?
It's to protect Owens a little bit.
We're going to have him lose, but we can protect him. Oh, that makes sense.
Because you don't see a lot of faces pull that kind of stuff.
You're right. You don't see it often at all. Maybe the second biggest story in WWE currently is the whole Y2J, AJ Styles, Miz storyline. We're getting a taste of it on every show. We're seeing a lot of AJ Styles, a lot of Jericho. I think they've done a nice job of another thing we talked about, probably the first show, that Jericho was a guy who he was living off his name and nothing else. If he was in a big match, he wasn't going to win. They've done the announce team, I think. This is probably the best job they've done being part of the storytelling, is the AJ Styles Jericho thing. They're making Jericho relevant. They're bringing up his amount of title reigns.
Yeah.
They're actually talking about what AJ Styles did outside of WWE.
Yeah, they're doing comparisons of, like you said, in the careers of these two guys, the parallels almost.
Right. I think AJ... I have a lot of problems with WWE booking and WWE storytelling. I think the way they've handled AJ's entrance into the company is probably the best storytelling they've done in a couple months.
Yeah.
I think, if you remember Y2J's premiere, it was it's arguably the biggest debut of all time. And then it fell flat almost immediately. He had that little feud with the Road Dogg in the hardcore division. He immediately meant nothing. I worried about AJ Styles. He comes out in the Rumble, gets his huge pop, has a nice performance in the Rumble, has a good match against Jericho. I was worried that, especially because of his size, but everything they're doing concerning him is putting him over, and they're making him look like he's a legitimate star. And what do they say about Vince? He doesn't push anybody who he didn't create.
Yeah.
Do you think this is a case of so many guys are hurt, we need this guy to be a star? Or do you think they just realized, some people have theorized that with Daniel Bryan being injured, he's now the new like small indie darling for everybody?
Well, I think there's some of that is true, but I also heard, I read somewhere that Vince sat down with AJ before, AJ made his transition to WWE, and Vince told him the character he was looking AJ to play.
The Jericho podcast.
And AJ was saying, this is actually, exactly who I am. So I think, Vince feels like he created it, but this is also AJ as he is.
So they just lucked in the perfect storm
damn straight.
that Vince thinks he created this, and AJ's like, oh, this is what I am anyway.
Yeah, but this is by far the Miz's best work since he was the U.S. champion was it 4 or 5 years ago?
I think this is going to be a triple threat match at Fastlane.
I don't know, but that SmackDown match, I think you may get a Miz run-in. But they're telling the amazing story. They're putting AJ over through this whole thing. Miz is telling Jericho it's aching that you didn't beat AJ Styles. It is killing you inside. So,
and then he admits that it is.
Yeah, it is killing him. It is killing him. And
so wins and losses do count sometimes.
Yes.
Okay.
On TV. in their minds, no. But this is the perfect way to put AJ Styles over. They constantly tell him he's the indie darling. He is their new Daniel Bryan. They want the fans to love him like they love Daniel Bryan. It's just the fact that don't make him too much like Daniel Bryan. You talked about all his accolades in the past, and he's out here to prove it.
And he has.
Yes.
He knocked Miz tooth out.
He did. He broke his veneer, knocked it out. They did a good job of showing that last night in the spot shadow.
A little tooth falling.
You don't get a spot shadow in 2016 too often, but I was happy to see it. It's a very underutilized video technique.
Vintage.
These days, yes. It's a good word. I think AJ, we discussed that he has not gotten to talk really. I think after a few weeks of viewing it, I look at it as it's a rare occasion. They know AJ Styles is a favorite of the hardcore wrestling fan who appreciates the wrestling match. They're letting him show you how great he is based on what he does instead of what he says, which they fall into that trap a lot.
Yeah, I think we'll get there. Like I said, the first week I had an issue with the way they did it because they didn't give him any mic time. Even, like I said, just to drop. This week I didn't mind that much at all because the way they had it, like I said, like he was saying, with two superior mic workers going at each other, you almost didn't mind.
And they're putting him over for him.
Yes.
Yeah. They're arguing about AJ Styles.
How good he is.
Yes.
Jericho comes down. He's saying how good this guy is. How great it was when he was in the ring with him. How he was better than I thought he was. I waited for years to step in a ring with this guy. Mm-hmm. You can't really put a guy over much better than saying, I was waiting for years for him to get here.
It almost feels like, they're revealing AJ, but they're carefully revealing certain aspects. They're not doing a big reveal of everything all at once.
Yeah, they're building a good story for him where at the end of this feud, he's going to be in a really good position there. Then it's up to them whether they're going to continue with it or mess it up like they do with almost everything else. But I'm glad that this is one of the three biggest stories, maybe the second biggest story that WWE has currently.
Yeah, but the one thing is they're trying to make everybody love this guy. Like with Daniel Bryan, you can't do anything to Daniel Bryan. He's bulletproof. Everybody loves Daniel Bryan. They're trying to get everybody to love AJ Styles. And everybody will love AJ Styles that doesn't know about him.
Right. They've done the people who know him are immediately on board. And the way they're handling it is allowing people who didn't know who he was to realize how important he was and how great he was.
Judging by that Rumble pop, I don't know how many people don't know about AJ, honestly.
Well, that was another thing. I was concerned that was Orlando. That's a lot of NXT fans, a lot
of marks.
Yeah. Who know who he is. I was worried, okay, when they go to some smaller city or some non-hardcore wrestling city, will he get the same reaction? And he has. There have been AJ Styles chants. Mm-hmm. Every week he's been on TV.
Yeah.
And I think that, they're not giving him too much too soon. They're allowing it to build. And the fact that right out of the gate, okay, we know he's good, but is he great? That's what they're getting to, is showing you this guy is great.
Yeah, and they're building that up slowly.
They don't let anybody be great. They let everybody be pretty good.
Yeah,
so
B-plus player.
Exactly. And that's what happens to most guys. So I think AJ is in a great spot. I think they've handled it better than they've handled most things, which I'm really encouraged by, especially because Triple H is kind of putting like a priority on getting these kind of guys in the company now. And a lot of that might be because of how they might have realized what they lost with Daniel Bryan not here for so long. And I give him some credit for AJ Styles being handled the way he is. He's getting a lot better treatment than
Golf clap.
than Daniel Bryan did when he was
Golf
there.
clap for Triple H.
Yeah. Do you want to give a golf? You would give a full applause to Triple H.
I love Triple H.
I love Triple H as well. I'm just giving a golf clap for the way he's handling this.
Yes, I agree. Another story point that I know you and I are big on. I know you probably the Divas. You're missing Total Divas again tonight.
I know.
Oh, man.
Are you caught up yet?
And the Flash.
No.
And the Flash.
No?
No.
Okay. So one day we may have to have it.
I'm off
Total
tomorrow.
Divas. Maybe we should do a live podcast of us marathoning Total Divas.
Divas.
That'd be excellent. That'd be awesome.
Diva fan.
That'd be awesome.
We got 2 Divas matches last night, Charlotte and Alicia Fox. And we got what's probably the more meaningful match, even though it has nothing to do with the title, was Becky against Tamina, which is kind of pushing forward the story of Becky and Sasha reluctantly teaming up against Team Bad. I actually thought the Charlotte Alicia Fox match was decent.
Oh yeah, I did too.
I was actually surprised by Fox. I haven't seen her, wrestle as well as she did in a long time.
Yeah, the problem with Fox, she's a little how can I put this?
Are you going to use a word that begins with R?
She's a little rough. I'll put it that way. I'll put it that way.
That wasn't the R word I was thinking of, but it makes sense.
She ain't rough on the eyes, though.
No, she's real athletic. She's just a little rough sometimes. I know a lot of times.
A little green.
Yeah, a lot of her moves, especially her scissor kicks, it's not clean.
No.
And stuff like that. But this was actually a pretty good match. I found myself enjoying it. Now at Fastlane, we finally know that we're getting Charlotte versus Brie. Brie Bella, she's not one of the top competitors on the Divas roster, but it's only for something to have Charlotte to do until WrestleMania.
And to put a Bella in a prominent, they're down one Bella, so I
Yeah,
guess they
down
figure
one
we
Bella.
have to have one in a prominent position.
Yeah.
Do you think, and I may be correct, do you think there's any chance that they put a title on Brie Bella?
No.
Nah.
Because then
Well, now she has double sympathy.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
I know.
what
Her
I just
husband's
was
retired,
thinking
and
the Daniel Bryan thing, the Nikki Bella thing, and my first thought is, are they going to just give her a title just because?
sympathy boat.
Exactly. You think no chance?
No.
No chance in hell.
Okay.
No chance in hell. You're fired.
So okay, well that makes me feel a little better. If you guys are both that adamant, but it was a rare time when Alicia Fox gets to look like she belongs in there with somebody.
Yeah.
Typically, she's just in there just to get pinned or submitted, and that's
Yeah.
it. She tapped last night, but she actually had a good performance, and she looked like she mattered last night. Sasha on commentary for Becky and Tamina's match.
Ron, you're turning red.
Already,
Yeah.
I forgot my inhaler again.
Yeah, it's red.
I forgot my inhaler once again, so I don't know how much time we'll put into Sasha Banks tonight. Commentary, maybe not her strong suit. I noticed a lot of dead air when she was out there. Maybe they were waiting for her to say something and she just wasn't. I don't know if maybe she's just one of these people that loves wrestling so much
She was into
that
it.
she's watching the match as opposed
The
to...
commentators gotta throw her a bone there. They see she's flopping a little bit. You gotta start, initiating her in a way. Throwing her some alley oops, if you will.
Right, which they don't do. They rarely do. I think the only commentary moment that stood out for me last night as enjoyable was when Ambrose was calling out Lesnar and just ramping it up and up and up. And I love when every once in a while you get like an overly serious JBL and he just says, "Nobody talks to Brock Lesnar." I laughed, and I don't like JBL. I can't stand him. I can't stand Cole. And I can't stand Byron Saxton either, but nobody talks. I love that serious, like, oh my God.
It grabbed you in. It pulled you.
Yes, exactly. I mean, it's very rare when JBL makes me laugh. The other time JBL made me laugh recently was during Bo's freestyle. When he said, "Bo, pitching a shutout." That cracked me up, too.
Bo won that.
He smoked
Hands down.
Flo Rida. I don't even know who Flo Rida is anymore. I'm glad that they're keeping Bo Rida going
Yeah.
for all this time. But anyway, back to the Becky Lynch Tamina match. Tamina does not get to wrestle very often on Raw or any show. she gets a win. Obviously, it was a jaded win because, Becky was distracted.
Mm-hmm.
Naomi smoked Sasha last night outside the ring. Becky hit a suplex on Naomi outside the ring, which I thought was a great spot
Oh yeah.
for in the middle of a women's match. You don't see those very
No.
often. And then she walks into a super kick. How long do you think this Sasha-Becky team-up will last?
After Fastlane.
So
Well,
you
till
think-
Fastlane.
So you think they get their Fastlane tag team match, and you think it abruptly ends after that?
Oh, yeah, because no doubt.
Abruptly ends, and then they'll set up a storyline because you're going to see Charlotte come out champion again.
Yeah.
No way Brie wins.
Yeah, this match.
To reiterate,
This match is just because. But first of all, they booked this backwards. They clearly did, because clearly they should have had Sasha break up from Team Bad before the or after the Royal Rumble. They shouldn't have her come out at the Royal Rumble to take out Charlotte. They should have had her break up from Team Bad first, and then you can get this match with Team Bad now. And then after Charlotte beats Brie, you could have had Sasha come out and then Becky come out. But now we get this tag team match, Team Bay against Naomi and Tamina. 3/4 of this match is going to be good. You already know Sasha and Becky will win this match, and that it's going to set up the triple threat match. And I think after the match, their alliance breaks, and they possibly try to take each other out.
Do you think that, and this may be the last thing we touch on with the Divas right now. One, we're actually getting 2 Divas stories.
Yeah, which
is
needed.
rare, but you do need to do that.
Yeah, you
it
need
can't
that.
just be a
Yeah, you
title
can't have
story.
all these women or all this talent go after one belt. You can't do that.
Yeah,
it's wasting their talents.
Exactly. You need the one story at the top where somebody's going for the title, somebody's defending the title, and then you need a story where you show that these other women who are involved are actually part of this
Yeah.
division.
I mean, not to beat a dead horse, although I would beat a dead horse if it was
I
available.
know you would.
I think this is just rushed, muddled storyline again because I feel like Nikki Bella was supposed to be in that spot.
So you
She
just
was
think
supposed
it
to
was
be in
another
line for the
injury
title.
that
I think she was
caused
supposed to
them
be in
to rebook everything on the floor.
Yeah, and I think in the way they're trying to handle Sasha with kid gloves and not rush her into the situation, although they do want to build her to the title.
Why do you think it was Nikki?
Because Nikki was the former champion. They haven't really had the rematch for that title.
They had the rematch. At
Well,
Hell-
I think they were going to throw another match out there.
Well, my thing is, I think possibly when Charlotte beats Brie, I think Charlotte may take Fox out too. Because like I said, I think they're not leaving Paige off WrestleMania. Paige got screwed at TLC in that match with Charlotte. So she may come out after that match with Brie and insert herself into this feud.
Which would be nice because I haven't seen Paige on.
Yeah, she had
Raw
those 2 Total Divas
you know.
plug matches, and you ain't
Yeah.
see her since.
Yeah, she just does the Total Divas ad,
Yeah,
which is all she does in the ring right now.
yeah.
The one problem I have with the way this is booked is I felt like you needed to actually have. I thought there should have been a Sasha Naomi story, not just okay, Becky is going to help you with these other 2 girls.
Yeah,
I thought they could have done a feud with Naomi and Sasha, which I think would have been good matches, and it would have allowed Naomi to have a purpose on
yeah,
the show
and to stand out on her own.
Yes, there's no need to saddle her with Tamina.
I agree. I think they just did that to sort of swing Sasha Banks to the face.
Yeah, and it has Becky. It
because
has
she had to
something
break
for
up
Becky
from
to,
Bad, and then there's 2 of them, one of her, so they need.
yeah, it has something for Becky to do.
Well, I guess that's another good point. Is that it gives 2 of your top stars
Yeah.
a story to be involved in. So the last thing then I'll ask about the Divas: how many women are going to be in this Divas title match at WrestleMania?
3.
You think 3?
I still think a fatal 4-way. I think Paige gets in there somehow because she still has history with Charlotte, and because she did get screwed at TLC as well.
I'm still pulling for a straight up Sasha Charlotte WrestleMania match.
One quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we do a Total Diva show, are you guys afraid of what I'm going to be wearing at that?
I was hoping this wouldn't come up. I'm terrified
Okay.
and a little
I
intrigued.
was thinking something lacy.
That could be a good look.
Yeah.
Now I really don't want to talk about the Divas anymore.
I'll borrow from Dennis.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about the Divas anymore now. We got the Wyatts beating up Ryback. Any thoughts? My main takeaway from this match was Ryback's big guy tights.
Ryberg.
They look,
His Speedo.
well, everybody's saying he looks like Goldberg. Those tights last night reminded me a lot of like an '80s, like a Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff or something like that with the tights. That's what I thought of.
The tights and the weightlifting belt.
Yeah, the weightlifting belt. Yeah, I don't know.
The hell you need a weightlifting belt for?
I don't know what because he lifts so many weights. I don't know. What do you think of the Wyatts and Ryback?
Keep Bray strong. That's all I can say. Keep him strong.
I mean, that's so in today's climate, you don't get the enhancement match anymore. There's no real jobbers. There's no Brooklyn Brawler out there that is going to get beat in 4 minutes every week.
That's what Dolph's for.
Exactly. I mean, you make legitimate guys into jobbers. They lose all the time.
Bring Zack Ryder up.
But yeah, you have the enhancement matches in NXT. You don't have them on WWE anymore. So you do. You have to find a guy that can lose to a guy like Bray Wyatt. You can't have him beating up all your top baby faces every week.
And that's the thing about this too. I mean, we were talking about it before we were airing. We have the Wyatts beating up all these big guys. Where's this going? I mean, are we going to see all these guys shoved into one match, which would probably be a pretty bad match?
It would be a bad match.
A friend. I was on the phone with a friend during this segment, and he said to me, "The Big Show and Kane are coming out." I do not want to see that.
We've seen enough of that.
No.
I mean, potentially right now. I mean, taking Bray out of this, you're looking at the rest of the Wyatt family versus Big Show and Kane. And Ryback. I mean,
like
only 1/6 of that match would be good.
So now our percentages are just plummeting.
Yes. And that 1/6 is Ryback Speedo.
Luke Harper will be the star of that.
Do you
match.
think them just decimating big guys is just something for them to do
Yeah.
while they're preparing for, or do you think there's a theme to this that's going to pay off?
Yeah, it keeps him strong because even though we're not fans of Ryback still has credibility. He's a former Intercontinental Champion. They beat the Big Show last week. He's a former world champion, Intercontinental Champion, U.S. Tag Champion. They took out Kane. They're taking out all these big guys, so it keeps them strong. Looks like they can take out the bigger guys, and that's another Easter egg for that whole Lesnar thing.
So this is just WWE keeping them in a safe place,
Yeah,
until they're in the story. They're
and
supposed to be.
and they're still built. They continue to build them up, and that's the problem. They never have time and put effort into building up the Wyatt family.
They just lose, basically.
Yeah.
They get into a feud and they lose.
No, they'll win, then they'll be forgotten. But when they lose, they'll just keep losing. That's what they tend to do with the Wyatt family.
Right. Yeah, that's what I mean. They put them in a feud. Ultimately, the feud ends. They've lost, and it just keeps going in that cycle over and over again.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Bray get some clean singles wins.
Well, that was one of the things I liked last night. I liked maybe one of the first times we've seen the Sister Abigail's kiss out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's shocking. That was a good nice spot.
And it shows you, one, that he can win a match in an unpredictable way, and it shows you that finisher is a devastating move.
It can be out of nowhere too.
Right. It happened out of nowhere, and it ended the match. No question about it. So that part of the match I actually liked. I just have to give a little plug to the Social Outcasts. I'm pretty sure you don't like them as much as I do.
No.
I enjoy it.
Nice shirts.
They do have nice shirts. Adam Rose now the Radical Mongoose.
Terrible.
Does this nickname stick?
No.
See, a lot of people like tater tots, and I hated it. I'm wondering if now I'm the guy I was complaining about who likes Radical Mongoose when everybody else hates it.
I like the Radical Mongoose.
No.
You're not in on the Radical?
No.
Not yet?
It's all about Bo Ryder.
Bo Ryder,
I'll give you that.
Radical Mongoose. I mean, this is very entertaining stuff.
It's about Bo Ryder.
The Radical Mongoose. Heathy baby. That was a terrible... I'm never doing Adam Rose impression again.
Leave it to Adam. Leave baby to Adam Cole.
The show didn't close on the New Day and Mark Henry. We got towards the end of the show with New Day and Mark Henry. Unbelievable backstage promo where Mark Henry got to wear the unicorn horn. He said his one condition on being their partner for this 8-man tag was that he got to play the trombone, which Xavier was not a big fan of.
No, because he had to play it after Mark Henry.
He took Francesca 2 right back. But they said you can't just play the trombone, you got to dance. And Big E showed him his Big E dance. And Mark Henry said,
Back in that
I've been doing this for 20 years. I was doing this 20 years ago. I think Mark Henry should be doing more with the New Day.
Yes.
Even in the match. I mean, he left them midway through the match, left them handicapped. But them telling him to do the splash and him saying, don't tell me what to do. I do what I want. And then storming off, I thought was hysterical.
That was very Cam Newton of him.
It was very topical. Coming off a Cam Newton Super Bowl loss, which actually, a little bit off topic, I actually kind of respect what Cam Newton did. And the way he explained it today. He said, he said, I'm a sore loser. Everybody knows it. You show me a good loser, I'll show you a loser.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
And he also said, maybe I didn't meet your expectations, but basically I have my own expectations for myself. I like that too. He's an individual. Not everybody needs to act the exact same way in every situation.
Yeah, the media just takes it out of context like always.
Right. I was cool with him not being happy.
Yeah, you lost a Super Bowl. What are you supposed to do?
Cool with him not being happy, but walking out in such a way is not professional.
It's not, but I don't... There's a fine line, because a lot of guys get criticized for being, he's professional all the time. They just say the right things, and people don't like those guys.
I think you just go Marshawn Lynch style and,
Just don't say anything at all.
Done.
Yeah, I liked... and Peyton Manning, this did not get a lot of publicity, but when he lost in 2009 to the Saints, he didn't even go shake Drew Brees' hand.
Because he's Peyton Manning.
Well, he gets away with it.
Yeah, because he's Peyton Manning.
Yeah, I'm fine with... I'm a sore loser. I'm a jerk when I lose. I'm not going to be nice to you after I lose. I don't know if I've lost to either of you guys at anything yet, but I won't be nice.
You're going to be my Dolph Ziggler.
And I won't be nice to you when I have to be your Dolph Ziggler. I might put my feet up on the ropes.
I'll be turning you purple, bro.
Yeah, I don't want anybody to see my face purple. Ultimately, the New Day is left in a handicapped position. Big E, shockingly not Xavier, gets put through the table. And the Dudleys immediately turn on the Usos.
Finally.
Yeah.
But if you listen to the crowd, it didn't sound like a heel turn to me.
No, they got the cheers.
They don't like the crowd. They hate the Usos.
Well, I don't think it was as much as they hating the Usos as it was.
Well, they love the tables.
Yeah,
they love
anyone through a table and they'll be cheering for the Dudleys.
Yeah, but I'm just so excited that the Dudleys finally turned heel. They're way more interested as heels, even back in the Attitude Era and in the 90s. They were way more interested, and it also gives you new matches. As much as people may not like the Usos, they're good in the ring.
They are good in the
ring. And the Dudleys Dudleys versus Usos will be a great few-day match. The Dudleys can teach the Usos so much. They can the Dudleys heel promos are excellent. They'll even carry them in promos. And where you go with the tag titles now. The Dudleys got involved with the New Day and the Usos. They put them through the table. We go to tag titles.
Yeah. I don't know if you watched any TNA when it was still relevant. But,
I did. Oh, no, I was a big TNA guy.
Bubba Ray's an excellent heel.
Oh yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm. He's a great heel. Now,
horrible storylines, but a great heel.
Yeah.
Are they going to get one last run with the WWE Tag Team titles?
I said they would whenever they turned heel.
So you think it's about that?
Yeah. If they were going to,
think it happens at WrestleMania or no?
No, because. I think if they would want to put the titles on them, I think you should do it now.
So you think it may happen soon?
Maybe at Fastlane.
So who do we see Fastlane fighting for the tag team titles?
I don't know. I saw a headline that said a tag team match was announced. I don't know.
I haven't seen that. Maybe you get another. I don't think you'll see another triple threat.
Well, your opinion. What do you think? Who do you think? You think you're going to see the Dudleys?
You can see the Dudleys versus the New Day, but the thing with that is. It's heel and heel, but the New Day will be accepted as faces, I think.
Yeah.
But even if the Dudleys put the Usos through the table, but can you see that as a heel? Can you kind of accept that as a heel turn?
Well, I mean, it wasn't viewed as a heel turn.
Yeah.
Through the eyes of the fans.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can go either way with this, but with the momentum, I think it might be the Dudleys.
You're going to see some promos that'll get some heel heat too.
Oh, absolutely. So are you telling me that one of my worst nightmares is going to come true and the New Day will no longer have gold real soon?
There'll be no more golden unicorns.
Oh no!
If you want to take advantage of the Dudleys now, you should do it. And if this is considered a heel turn, and take advantage of it.
New Day's at a point where they don't really need titles to get over.
I just love them having them though.
They make those titles mean something though.
They made them mean something, and they use those titles to put down everybody else.
So now's a great time to start building up that tag team division. Get some real quality tag teams out there. And
you're right. I don't want to see them lose those titles. I thought I was going to need to wait till the Daniel Bryan segment to be held, but I think I might need to be held now. I'm not.
Come here. Come here. It's okay.
Thank you. That meant a lot.
It felt good.
I'm glad. I'm glad it did.
You smell like Kit Kat.
So Joe, the lunatic fringe Joe Rottermill is a hugger as well. We're all huggers on this panel. The show obviously closed with an emotional farewell to the in-ring career of Daniel Bryan. The announce team tried to put it over as shocking, which kind of annoyed me because he's been out for how long? There's been stories for how long about how they won't clear him.
Yeah, but I always felt like no matter what stories I heard, I'm going to see Daniel Bryan running out one more time. And
I thought we'd see him at the Rumble, to be honest.
yeah.
I'm surprised that... Well, not surprised, because I always thought there was a chance. Bret Hart said, I think 6 months ago, he said, I don't think Daniel Bryan will ever wrestle again. He thinks he is, but he won't. He said, I was in this position once. I thought I'd get back out there, and I never did. But what I'll say about the segment itself, I feel like they really put the fans over last night.
Yeah.
More than usual. I mean, all those shots.
Because it's his hometown, too. Well,
right.
his home state.
It was an abnormally high amount of just shots of fans celebrating, doing the yes chant, doing the... what other chants did they do? That's what she said chant.
A couple heavy criers in that crowd, too.
Heavy criers.
I saw one woman who was just bawling like her favorite pet just passed away.
Yeah, I mean, I think Daniel Bryan represented the WWE universe. I hate that phrase, but he represented us and all those people more than any other wrestler, maybe ever.
Yeah, because he was just another guy.
Right.
He didn't have the perfect body. He was undersized. He was just
looked like
an average guy.
Yeah. He was an average guy.
Yeah.
And I loved the storyline when they occupied Raw. I mean, that was all the fans, in the ring stopping them.
Yeah,
It was just an excellent
unbelievable
story.
So I think that they hit a really good note with that. They really made it a point to get the fans on TV and put the fans over. Like, we get it. You guys kind of make us what we are. And this guy represented you, so we're going to kind of give you guys a time to shine, too.
And I'm glad Daniel Bryan explained his new clean look because, I was curious when he first came out. What's going on there?
Yeah, for a great cause. I unfortunately can't remember what the charity was called. Do you remember? Wigs for Kids.
Yeah, Wigs for Kids.
Basically, yeah.
They donated that hair for the kids, and then he said he looked pretty stupid with the full beard and cut head.
Short hair. I thought he looked good last night in the nice flannel.
He is not a goat face. He is handsome.
Yeah, he's not as ugly as they made him out to be. I thought, seeing him stand there with his eyes closed, just to probably the last time he'll hear that in that ring in that way, I appreciated that he really savored that moment.
Oh, he ate it all up. He closed his eyes and he said, I never really got to hear that from a crowd because usually you're focused in on your opponent. He closed his eyes, just felt it, which is kind of an amazing picture to paint.
Yeah, we want to wrap up Raw shortly. I guess we could all maybe just say something about Daniel Bryan. For me, as a kid who wasn't 5 feet tall till I was 16 years old, I was small my whole life. I started high school. I was 4'10" and 88 pounds. Tiny guy, kind of made me scrappy. I wish I had somebody like Daniel Bryan to look at. As this guy's little, he's the smallest guy out there, but he's overcoming everything you put in front of him. I think he can be a role model to people who are undersized in physical stature. He could be a role model to people who are, your social status. If you're a nerd in high school and you get picked on, that's somebody you could look at as this is somebody who overcomes everything. So I'm thankful to Daniel Bryan just for the hope and the encouragement that he offered to people who aren't just born at the top.
Yeah.
Joe, I know you love Daniel Bryan, maybe
definitely.
more than anybody.
I love Daniel Bryan. I mean, like I said, I'm a smaller guy too, so I felt what he was going through. When people try to pile the world on top of you and they try and tell you can't, you won't, you aren't, and you get beat down by the world, he was just there. He said, I will.
And
you
he
can
did.
say whatever you want, but I'm going to do it. And I was getting teary-eyed. I'm sitting there seeing the pictures of him holding the title, knowing how that feels, just to overcome and prove people wrong. It's such a powerful message he sent.
It was.
Same thing as you guys. It's real powerful. Growing up, there weren't many guys like that his size. Just an average guy, getting himself over. Especially the yes chants. It's not just a chant. It shows you can do anything. Daniel Bryan, he started from the Indies.
It's a mindset.
It's a mindset. He started from the Indies, worked his way up, showed you could become a face of the company, showed you could be the most popular name in the company. He just showed that you don't have to you don't have to be this model to be everything. You don't have to be a model to be the world champion. You don't have to be a model to have a beautiful wife. That's a model, and it seems one of the most beautiful women in the world. He showed that you could do anything you set your mind to, and we're gonna miss him. He retired. It's ended way too soon.
Way too soon.
And now that he's gone, for the fans, we're not going to miss him. But there's a lot of things that he left on the table, a lot of matches that we're not going to see because of his retirement.
Yeah, I mean, this retirement was kind of reminiscent of Edge not too long ago. But, I mean, at least Edge had a longer run in WWE. Edge had tag team titles, multiple titles. I feel like Daniel Bryan had a fraction of that time, and he made almost...
Every time he got to the top, unfortunately, he got knocked down by something out of his control.
Yeah.
The last thing, like you said, you don't have to... The way I'll put it is, he showed that you don't have to settle for what other people are willing to give you. You can go out and get more for yourself than what somebody's willing to give you. And I'm thankful. Daniel Bryan is probably the reason why I'm here right now. I had stopped watching wrestling for 5 years, and the Raw episode when John Cena was choosing his opponent for SummerSlam, he was in the ring. The rest of the roster was up on top of the ramp under the Titantron. You don't even see Daniel Bryan, but I owe another $1. I forgot. Oh, we got one over here. He decides that he's going to choose Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan has to push his way out through that crowd of larger-than-life
perfect
WWE superstars, does the yes chant all the way down the ramp, is right in his face, screaming the yes chant. At that moment, I said, I think I'm going to start watching this again. I mean, I stumbled on it. I didn't know what was happening.
He pulled you back in.
He pulled me back in. And that story leading up to his WrestleMania moment is what really, at that point, I started watching every week again and never looked back. So we're probably all here right now because Daniel Bryan's career lasted just as long as it did.
Mm-hmm.
So Daniel Bryan, you will be missed by all three of us, by many other people.
Very much.
And I think that's a good note to go out. And he said when he dives through those ropes, he felt like Superman. Mm-hmm. And he said the way we reacted to him doing that made him feel like Superman. And to a lot of people, he was Superman.
What are some of your favorite moments? What are some of your favorite D-Bry moments?
I think the yes chant right in the face of the current champion before SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
I think you didn't like this one as much, but when he turned on the Wyatt family, it did happen a little too soon. But when he was sitting on top of that steel cage and they had the wide shot of him with the yes chant and every person, there's not many things in life where 20,000 people are completely on the same page. And you saw that entire place in unison with him, behind him, and obviously the confetti raining down in New Orleans with him in the 2 titles. Those are probably my 3. I mean, they're 3 pretty big moments, but those are the 3 things that stand out to me.
Joe, you have any?
Oh, I have a ton. I mean, it's hard to pick out.
Is there enough time?
I don't know. I mean, how much time do we got? I can keep going. I mean, so many to choose from. I mean, I remember watching him back when he first started in NXT and he came up in the Nexus. Mm-hmm. He ended up actually getting kicked off the roster for choking someone with a tie when they were, beating everyone up. I was like, such a silly reason to get kicked off the show because I knew Daniel Bryan, the American Dragon,
right,
and what he had to bring. And I know he was a disciple of HBK, with his school. So I was very much into Daniel Bryan. Then he comes back. He comes back with a vengeance. He ends up winning the Money in the Bank, the Occupy Raw, which was again bringing that up. That was a tremendous,
unbelievable.
Moment. And then probably one of the things like watching all those Daniel Bryan moments from last night. One of the things that was the greatest is when he had to, overcome everything. He had to beat Triple H. Then he had to beat 2 of the top stars at the time just to win the title, and he did that all in the
arguably the best individual WrestleMania performance of all time.
All in one night, and he pretty much wrestled for over an hour that night.
Predictable, but it was perfect.
Right. Yeah, predictable isn't always bad.
It's not.
When you tell the story right.
Yeah. Picking off that, that's one of my favorite moments because as a fan, you want to feel for a guy. Remember when we went to take over Brooklyn and Bayley won the NXT Women's title? You could feel the emotion in that.
We didn't cry.
Almost. Almost. But when Daniel Bryan won those titles, you could feel the emotion in the building. Your heart felt it. You felt for the guy because you felt all the emotion that he felt when he held those titles up. another thing is when, like you said, the guy with the shovel called him out and said, "I choose Daniel Bryan." When he occupied the Royal Ring with 8 million people with the yes chant, it was great.
I feel like I should give you $1 for having the most unique way of describing that guy without saying his name.
Thank you. And the other thing, my only fond memory of Daniel Bryan is
Because he buries everybody.
his work with Kane has aged very well.
Oh,
It is
yeah.
amazing to
Yeah.
this day. The stuff with Dr. Shelby.
Yes
is
and no. That was
good.
so entertaining.
So good to this day.
Yeah.
I still watch it and die laughing.
I'm the tag team champions.
You know, I'm the tag team
No,
champion.
I'm the tag team champions.
Oh, his feud with Punk and AJ. Great.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the last thing, this is more of a silly note, but I don't think I was watching at this time. They showed a spot of him on commentary during a Cesaro, and I don't remember what match, but everything he said was about bears. I don't know if either of you remember this.
No,
He
I
just
don't-
kept talking about guys who wrestle bears, and I've wrestled bears, and I won't even use a move in the ring if it couldn't be done to a bear. And at one point, whoever Cesaro's opponent was is like trying to pull him down. He's holding onto the rope. He said, "This is unbearable." He kept saying, just trying to get the word. I don't know if somebody dared him to say the word bear as many times as he could, but it was hysterical. And I don't think he gets credit for being as funny because I think his story at the end was more of purely an emotional
Overcoming.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he didn't get to be funny as much, but he was hilarious.
Oh, he
and
was
he
hilarious.
was funny.
Yeah, he was great.
So yes, I guess I'll say this for one last time. Daniel Bryan, thank you for your contributions.
Thank you, D.
Much
Brock.
love,
Thank
DB.
Thank you for bringing
Yes!
me. Yeah, thank you for bringing
Yes!
me back to something I love. And actually, you probably are the main reason why I checked them out because I remember at a wedding, you
Yeah.
told me you were like you would like them.
It's a little sauce talking about.
Yeah, yeah. It worked.
Oh yeah.
So that was Raw. We'll get into a little bit of NXT. The biggest story on NXT, obviously, is... Well, there's two big stories. One was the William Regal decision on who really won the triple threat match, which we already knew the outcome. They're going to have a match to decide the number one contender. We also had the non-title match, and also at one point, Tom Phillips described it as the title-free match, which I've never heard.
He sucks so bad.
He's not great.
He sucks.
Sounds like some kind of diet.
I need
Yeah.
I need Rich Brennan back.
Yeah, Apollo Crews and
I'm on a
Finn
title-free
Balor.
diet.
I had some thoughts on this match myself. I'm just curious. We saw this match once before.
Yep.
What did you think of the Finn Balor Apollo Crews non-title match?
I thought the first match was better. But one thing that kept Apollo Crews strong was Finn Balor did hit the coup de grace, but he had to do another move to get him to put him out. And Corey Graves and Tom Phillips did a great job saying that the coup de grace wouldn't work. Balor had to make sure he had it. Beat.
Right, very rare does an announce team actually tell you that part of the story.
Yeah.
I don't get why they don't do that.
No.
I thought it was a really good match. It started off, with the grappling and each man fighting for positioning. More of an Olympic style kind of wrestling. Each man not wanting to make that mistake. And then it just started building up, and then these guys were flipping around the ring. Like, all of a sudden, Cruz is flying over the ropes, and there goes Finn behind him. And Cruz moves so quickly for a man his size.
Cruz is amazing.
He's one of the best
He's
athletes
just
I've
standing
ever seen in a
backflips
ring.
out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, his splash, the height he gets
Yeah.
on his splash in the corner. I don't know if I've ever seen it. I mean, what is he, 5'8"?
I'm not sure.
5'9". He's short. I mean, he's huge. He's a short guy. He's one of the most unbelievable athletes I've ever seen in a wrestling ring. That is one of the things I did enjoy about it. I liked that they had a faster paced match the first time, and they showed you that they can put on a different type of match.
Yeah, they did a slow
And they
build.
did. They really... One of the things I liked about the Y2J AJ match from Raw a couple weeks ago was it could have gone out, they could have just shot out like a cannon, but they felt each other out. They kind of showed, okay, Finn's got the upper hand, Apollo's got the upper hand, and then they eventually built up to the bigger spots. I did really appreciate that. One, because Apollo Crews is a guy that they're really high on.
Yeah.
You have to really be careful. You don't want to bury a guy. You don't want to make a guy look bad. The first match, obviously, he avoided that. If this match you're going to give him a clean victory, how do you make Apollo look good while getting pinned without any interference, any
Yeah.
fluke thing happening? So yeah, Finn Balor has to add a second finishing move to finish the job. So they made. I mean, Finn obviously looks better for having beaten a guy of that caliber.
Beats him, and also gives him his props though too. So it's
Right.
not like
And that's one of the great things about NXT is you can get to the mountaintop and lose, and then eventually you will usually get your time. I mean, Apollo Crews' time will eventually get here.
Yeah.
I don't know if this could be the last time we see them for a while. I don't know if they're going to have another match. I don't know if Finn is going to be on the main roster before that can happen. Or maybe Apollo Crews' time has to wait until Finn Balor's gone.
well, currently as we speak, Finn Balor is on the injured list. So,
Sprained his ankle.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see Bailey do his entrance?
I was going to bring
So
that up
good.
eventually. That's one of my favorite things I've seen. I love Bayley.
I know, so good.
She's not Sasha,
No.
but she's got a great character. She's fun to watch. She's really good in the ring. She's growing all the time. And yeah, that showed you like that her personality has come a long way.
Is it just me or does she have no lips? Like she
She
smiles and her lips like
doesn't-
disappear.
She definitely doesn't have a top one or much of one. I don't know. I have to may have to go back to the video and
Yeah,
look.
you watch that and try to unwatch it after
But
you
did
watch
you
it.
see this video of her doing Finn's entrance
Yeah.
with him in the ring?
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, I did too.
So Finn Balor, Apollo Crews, their non-title match. Obviously, Finn Balor goes over. I thought there was a shot that Apollo may win. That's why they were keeping it a non-title match.
yeah.
But he goes over. The announcement. So one thing I did like about the announcement, and I would assume you like this too, is that William Regal made it abundantly clear that Baron Corbin was no longer in any way, shape, or form in
Thank
line for
God.
#1 contendership.
Thank God.
Why in the hell would Baron Corbin even be in there arguing for?
He has one move.
He got double tapped out.
He has one move.
Well, that's what he said, I love that from William Regal. The one thing I am 100% certain of is you lost.
Yeah.
You got tapped out by two guys, so now these guys have to. Who do we know who wins this already? Because I don't read the spoilers. I don't want to know, but is it? Do we know yet?
I do.
Okay.
So yeah, it's out there.
Ron,
Alright.
I'm telling you this now. I'm telling you now. When you see this NXT TakeOver Dallas card, your inhaler will not help
My inhaler. I might need a second inhaler.
you. It will. You might need mouth to mouth because you will lose it. When I watch this show on April 1st, I may need new pants.
So I might need to make sure I'm in good company when I find
Yes.
out.
Yes.
Okay. So it's that good.
Yes.
I feel like
Do
I'm
you-
in the middle of something.
Do you know anything about the TakeOver Dallas card?
No,
Okay, I would like to keep it that way as long as possible.
I don't like
Um,
looking into any spoilers or looking ahead. I like taking each show for what it is.
Yeah, that's kind of what I prefer. There's some things I don't mind knowing, but I don't want to know the whole
Yeah, that's your
story.
curiosity though. Like, where is this going?
We have Carmella being in her build towards the women's title shot against Bayley. I think it's pretty obvious the way that one's going to turn out.
Yep.
Do you like Carmella?
Yeah, she's improved over time.
She's gotten a lot better.
She's gotten a lot better because I remember when I first started watching NXT, she's still rough. You know, she got booed, but now the crowd's taking to her, and I think she's constantly getting better. I don't think she'll beat Bayley. She's not even on Bayley's level yet.
No.
But a few more years in NXT, a little more time in NXT, she'll be up there.
A little time to polish up a little.
Yeah, and her and nothing. Enzo and Cass, they've been torn with the main roster. The WWE roster.
Yes.
I'm not gonna call it the main roster because that's like a demotion. to me.
Right. Yeah.
But they worked a lot of events. They worked.
Oh,
a
they
lot of
moved
events.
down to the main roster.
Yeah. They moved down to the main roster. And they're working a live events. They worked a live event this weekend. Carmella was there too.
Yeah, from what I heard, they got a good reaction.
Yeah.
Which, I assume they would in
Yeah.
every arena they go into.
Yeah. So look out for that. They might be seeing something soon.
Yeah, so the big thing about Carmella is she's got the character.
Yeah.
I mean, the in-ring will come. The character is the hardest part to develop. So I think I don't know how big she's going to be. She's got a lot of competition up there right now.
Well,
A lot
But
of
I
good
think she's got a
competition.
chance.
A lot of quality competition.
Yeah.
but she has competition. But the thing with Carmella is that she has the seasoning because she's been there longer than a lot of the newer divas, the newer women in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
So her seniority will get her these title shots because they still have to build up Liv Morgan, Billie Kay, Peyton Royce. Those women get to even get wins in NXT.
Asuka, another Another pretty dominant performance. That was a great
That
match.
was a great match. It was short, but Santana
Santana Garrett, yeah,
Santana
she's
Garrett,
a-
right? That was great. That was a good
She was a
match.
great in-ring ability.
Yeah,
That
she
was-
did.
No, I thought it was going to be just a straight squash.
That's what I felt when I'm coming out, you know.
One of the things I like, what I don't like is when you kind of always know how a match is going to go, and I think there are too many performers in WWE now where you kind of know they're going to do this move, they're going to do that move, they're going to do that move, then this is going to happen, and then the match is over. Asuka has a variety of ways to end any match, and they've let her use
Every way.
where you don't know in an Asuka match what's going to happen.
And that's a great way to book a superstar. It
She was
is.
popping out arm bars out of nowhere. I was like, where the heck
Yeah,
did that
all the
come from?
submissions. She has the spinning heel kick. Yeah, she's got a variety of ways to end a match, and I'm glad that they're letting her explore all of those. Anything else on NXT? Enzo and Cass, another great promo. They got another Zero Dimes line in there. I enjoyed Enzo saying, you know, he's got nothing but lint in his pocket because he has 0 dimes because they always get back up. They squashed. I don't even know who they were. I don't even know if they even announced their names at any point.
Oh, they did briefly, but I think they like whispered it.
They whispered their names.
They're fighting each
That's a good way to not let anybody know who it is.
They're fighting them.
I appreciate Cass being hyper aggressive and angry right now. I don't know if it's going to lead to anything for these guys.
When he tossed that guy out of the ring, it looked like it really hurt.
Yeah,
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
They
He got like
got
8 feet of air out into the ramp.
No American Alpha, I believe, this week. We just got that little video.
No, we got a
Just
great
little
video.
package.
There wasn't a whole lot that happened on this particular episode of NXT, but we did get, you know, a non-title match between two of the biggest stars in the company. We got to see Enzo and Cass again, which is always a good thing. Asuka in a great performance, and yeah, Samantha Garrett. I don't even remember her before.
She had a couple matches. I think she
She was fighting for a spot on the roster.
she's fought a
so,
couple
yeah.
times. I think she might have fought Nia Jax.
Okay,
I think, but she's been there a few times.
You got a small promo from your boys, the tag champions.
Dashman.
yeah, Dash and Dawson. You love those guys.
That was one of their better promos.
Yeah, well, maybe they're getting better.
They're still coming at Cass and Enzo. So
They went from a 1 to a 2.
Okay, so it's a slight improvement.
Slight improvement.
incremental.
Yeah.
So as far as NXT, they're obviously in a good spot. They're building towards their biggest show ever.
Ron, I'm telling you, Ron.
Well, I look forward to seeing it. I will make sure I'm in good company who will save my life when it comes down to it.
Yeah, make sure you have the hospital ready on your phone.
Before we get out of here, we do have one listener question. Can I guess who it's from?
Go ahead.
Is it from our number one fan,
Yes, it is.
Ronald Lloyd?
Yes, it is.
What is Ronald asking us today?
All right. He said, "Hey guys, what do you think are the best possible new roles for Daniel Bryan in his future with WWE? I wish we could have seen him wrestle one last match. With that in mind, which retired wrestler would you want to see wrestle one last match?"
It's a great question, Ronald. First, I think the easiest answer for what role Daniel Bryan should have going forward, I think he should spend some time at the Performance Center helping some of these young guys, you know, develop their characters, because obviously I believe that was his weak point, was having a character. He was a great wrestler, and then he worked on being a character. I think he's got a lot to add there. I think he can obviously help guys in the ring. He can sell. I think he's got a lot of knowledge to pass down to these kids. I thought he was a great judge on Tough Enough.
Yeah.
So I think that's a pretty easy role. You might want to get him in on commentary every once in a while. Just come back out in the ring every now and again.
Yeah.
Like they would do with an HBK or a Stone Cold. So it was which retired wrestler would I like to see wrestle one more match?
Yep.
That is really tough. I mean, because my instinct is to say HBK, but we've seen so much. I feel like we got a second career out of HBK that nobody ever expected.
Yeah, you're pushing the envelope.
Right. I mean, we thought he was done. Then he came back and had 5-6 great years after that. Maybe even better than his first
Not
one.
only to mention, I mean, you see him with those matches with Undertaker, you know, those career-ending matches. I don't know how you're going to outperform that.
There is nothing you could do. I'm going to say Scott Hall.
Oh, that's a
Because
good one.
I feel like he had some issues when he got to WCW. And I feel like we did not get as much of Scott Hall as I would have liked to have seen.
Yeah, because his last match against Stone Cold at WrestleMania 18, but it wasn't his last match. It was one of them. It wasn't that good.
No, we did not. Yeah, I would like to see Scott Hall wrestle one more match if I had one guy I could watch come out of retirement. Obviously, I'd want to see him in his prime.
Oh, so Joe, you have anybody that's not mainstream, not real mainstream that you want to see?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you consider this not real mainstream. I mean, my first instinct is to jump all over and say Stone Cold, but that's not where I'm going. The guy I have in mind, Kurt Angle. It's true. It's damn true. This guy, I would love to see him
Well, he
come
retired
back.
from TNA. We'll call it that. Just TNA.
Yeah, he's not in current wrestling, and I'd like to see him have one more small run on WWE, possibly retire on WWE's dime.
Yeah. Of course, we all want to see Shawn. Well, what about Daniel Bryan? I think he'll be a trainer for at the Performance Center. Also, he probably could do a lot of ambassading, a lot what Shawn Michaels did when the first time he went out.
Right.
Because Daniel Bryan, like you said, he was on Tough Enough, and he does all the charities and Make-A-Wish and stuff like that. So I think that's where you'll see a lot of him. I'm sure he'll have something on the network probably. And as far as somebody I want to see wrestle one last match that's retired, I'm going Owen Hart.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah,
Another guy. I mean, obviously career cut
yeah,
short.
it's hard to pick. It's hard to choose because so many great competitors that's in the Hall of Fame. But if I had to pick one, because like I said, I love HBK. I've seen a lot of them. Stone Cold. I've seen a lot of them. A guy that we saw a lot of Owen Hart, but it's been so long, and it wasn't
so long,
and it wasn't to the level as a Stone Cold. But I'm going Owen Hart.
That's a great. I mean, he was a great in-ring performer.
Yeah.
He was a great character as well. He could have a good match with anybody, and I thought I was going pretty obscure, not obscure, but I thought I had a great call with Scott Hall. I think he beat me with Owen Hart.
Scott Hall.
So I got to tip my cap to you for that
thank
one.
you.
Now, speaking of retired wrestlers that people want to see, I don't want to see this guy, but I'm hearing whispers of possibly seeing Goldberg in a ring
God
event.
no.
What are your feelings on this?
I actually was discussing this with a friend earlier. Growing up, I was a WWE kid. Well, WWF kid. I saw WCW shows and I was like, it's
you
too
better
dark.
watch him like it fine. You say WWF.
I'll take the fine. I'll pay. I put probably $40 in that jar, so I don't have anything left in my pockets for them to take.
The
from
World
me.
Wildlife Fund has deep pockets. Deep pockets, my friend.
They do, obviously. Clearly, if they got Vince McMahon to change the name of his company. So, all right, maybe I don't want to. All right, World Wildlife Fund, I apologize. I was a WWE kid growing up.
Me too, through and through.
Was anti-WCW. I just thought it was dark. They didn't have the characters I liked. So when we got to the Attitude Era, I obviously was still a WWE kid at heart. I hated WCW, so I hated Goldberg. I will give him credit for the guy became huge. He was borderline must-see TV. The only reason I don't say must-see TV is because I didn't feel the need to tune in to watch him.
No.
But he became a monstrous figure in pro wrestling / sports entertainment. But I have no desire to see that guy do anything again. And I feel like he hated the business anyway. He always seems miserable when he talks about it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well,
he'll make them some money, but I have no desire to see the guy.
I don't think Goldberg would make him that much money. I don't.
No.
Me as a
It'd be a
kid,
gimmick.
yeah, me as a kid, when you scroll through channels, I fell in love with wrestling with WWE. So that's the first. So when I'm scrolling through channels, that came on first for me. So when I turn to something else, now I don't want to watch this.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up on the Stone Cold, Rock, DX, stuff like that. So when I see Goldberg, I'm like, I don't like WCW. It's not this. I prefer this better. Their stage looks better. Their belts look better. Those wrestlers look better. As far as Goldberg, wasn't really a fan. And then when I grew up, I started to learn about in-ring work and stuff like that.
yeah.
And I slowly was like, okay, this guy was not it.
We're not up to snuff.
But in terms of booking, he was one of the only few things WCW did right.
Yeah, it's crazy. This guy Goldberg was no more better than what Ryback is right now, as far as in-ring ability, mic skills. But somehow he rose to like meteoric levels.
Yeah, but you can't knock how he moved the needle for WCW and helped them in the money.
I can't knock what he did. I don't know how a guy like that.
Yeah, but him in the Monday Night Wars, he was big then. But I don't have any desire to see him again.
I just hear these whispers he might be making a return, which I don't know for what reason.
Yeah, don't do it. If you're thinking about doing it, don't.
Don't do it.
I think he got over because he kind of looked like he was like this Stone Cold.
Yeah, he was a
Cold.
WCW Stone
Only
Cold.
he was huge.
And
he is unbeatable for so long.
Yeah, they booked him. They booked him perfect. It's the one thing. That's the one star they created.
Then they ruined it.
Yeah, Kevin Nash.
By bringing in who? Who'd they bring in to start booking?
No, we're talking about Goldberg.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I'm trying to tee you up for something.
Oh.
Who eventually came to WCW?
Who
and ran
ruined the
their creative?
storylines?
Hogan.
Vince Russo.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, duh,
That was an alley oop.
bro.
That's what I was trying.
That was
to
an
get at.
alley oop. That was an alley oop, and you just Mozgov that.
We were dead in the water. Bro.
He knocked it out of the park, bro.
That Hulk Hogan, bro. I don't want to see him again. You will never see Hulk Hogan again, bro.
I think we could leave you with Aaron's. I want to get Aaron to do a Vince Russo impression on every show he's on. So I'm glad we got it in a buzzer beater tonight. For Aaron Lloyd, for Joe Rottermill, once again, farewell, Daniel Bryan.
Ooh, yeah.
Thank you for your contributions. Thank you for listening to the Matt Madness Wrestling Podcast. Like us on Facebook, watch us on YouTube, listen to us on iTunes and Podbean, and we look forward to coming to you again next week.
Thank you from the bottom of my freaking heart, bro.
Ooh, yeah.